How to find a good counselor. It's very important when looking to find a counselor or therapist or psychologist to be able to know what things to look for. This is your health we're talking about. This is your coping with your life, the storms or problems of your life. We all need help sometimes, and life is very tough. And finding the right person to talk to help you get a different perspective is very important. So stay tuned, and I'll tell you those key ingredients. Hi, I'm Dr. Monte Miller. I'm a licensed psychologist. I've been working for over 22 years now, helping people with going through some horrendous storms in their life. All kind of losses, severe health problems, loss of independence, death, grieving, you name it. Some of the people I've worked with have gone through terrible storms and abuse in their life. And yet I've learned a lot by trying to help them to cope. And I've learned a lot from them. And I really want to share what I've learned from helping them, helping with other people. That's the whole point of this channel. So if you could, please subscribe. Hit the little thumb button if you like this video. Watch through the whole thing. The more minutes watched and the more thumbs up and interactions and comments on this video, the more YouTube will show it to people. And so that helps me out a lot and helps get this video out to other people who really may need the help. So help me out a lot. I appreciate it. All right, this video is not trying to make it too long, but it's a short video on just how to help find a good counselor. We all need therapists at times. We all need counselors at times. I've done a video before on what the difference is between counselor, psychotherapist, psychologist, or psychiatrist. Psychiatrist is a medical doctor who gives drugs, so don't worry about that. But all the rest of us do counseling. The first thing you want to look for, not necessarily the most important, but the first thing you want to look for, of course, is education. You have to have a bachelor's degree from college to get the ball even started, but that doesn't really get you very far. Then you have to get a master's degree to be licensed, to be a licensed counselor, licensed professional counselor, licensed social worker. You have to at least have a master's degree. But then you can go 4 more years and get a doctorate degree. And that's doing the same thing. It's just more training, more experience is all you're really getting. Professionally supervised training is what you're getting with someone with a doctorate versus a master's. So that's the number one thing. The second thing you want to look for is experience. How much experience does your therapist have? Fresh out of school, they can be fine, but the more training they've had, the more time they've had and experience of seeing more patients over the years, the more they develop their own style. They really feel more comfortable and confident with you, and they've learned what works and what doesn't work. All these techniques and theories out there, and you find some just doesn't hold weight with some people and some do. And so you need that experience, especially you want someone ideally with a lot of experience in your specific area that you're dealing with. You don't want to deal with somebody dealing with, if you've got a drug addiction who hasn't gone through a lot of training or experience helping people get over drug addictions, for instance. Marriage counselors, you need someone who's done a lot of marriage counseling. So that helps to have as much experience, not just total years, but in your specific area. But the third thing, and really the most important thing, is comfort level. Compassion. Do you feel like your therapist connects with you? Do they really listen to you? Do they understand you? Do you feel like you can relate to them? They can relate to you? Therapy is like an art. It's like art. Some people naturally have an artistic ability. I do not. I cannot draw to save my life. But some people have that. Now, if you train them, they'll be even better at it. But some people have the natural skill. However, if you give me all the training in the world, I still won't be a great artist because I don't have the natural ability. So ideally, you need someone with a lot of education, a lot of experience, but also with the natural ability to be able to relate to people, and especially to relate to you. There are some people I can relate to very well. I even kind of determined, it's like, okay, you know what? You will like me. I'll determine for you to like me. But that doesn't always work. Sometimes people we don't click as well personally, and they might click with somebody else. And that's just fine too. However, there was one additional element needed in this. So once you find a therapist you feel very comfortable with, that has a decent amount of education and experience in your area that you're dealing with, you still got to have a therapist who can hit all levels. They need to be able to be compassionate and understanding, but they have also got to get you to a different way of looking at problems. I can have a relationship with you and care about you and say, help you feel heard and needed, but if I don't give you some additional way of looking at it, some alternate perspective, then I'm not going to help you. there's some therapists out there, I hate to say it, they're just nice and sweet and kind, but they just listen to you and they reflect back what you're saying, but they don't really give you anything. Sometimes that's the theory they're under, is they just want to empathize and let you figure it out yourself. But I think that sometimes that's all that's needed, but sometimes you need a lot more. You need someone who'll push you. My very first psychotherapy teacher in my master's program, my very first day of class, she taught this thing that I've never forgotten. Good psychotherapy is stroking with one hand and punching with the other. I love that. Thank you, Francis White. You have to be able to connect with somebody, like I've been saying. You get that stroking, you get that patting, but then you got to be able to punch. Not hard, not mean, not judgmentally, not cruelly, but you've got to get people to say, okay, you might want to look at it from this way instead of that way. Have you considered? Some people find it helpful to look at it like this. Or you might not be helping yourself by looking at it that way. You've got to be able to say those kind of things to lead people into a new way of thinking about it. You've heard the old saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting the same result. Okay, first, that bothers me. That was always attributed to Einstein. He is a physicist. He wasn't a psychologist. Okay, insanity is not technically defined that way. But anyway, it's a true point, though, that when we get stuck in our patterns, we keep trying to do the same thing, and we think, maybe if I just do it a little bit differently, it'll work out better this way. And it doesn't. And so you've got to be able to see it from a different perspective. And that's one reason a counselor can help. It's a different, unbiased perspective. We can't see the forest for the trees with our own problems, but someone else looking at above can say, okay, you need to go that way, not this way. And they can help us get that different perspective, looking at it from a different perspective. There's hundreds of different psychological theories out there, and most of them work pretty well. But the key point is can you get you to look at it from a different perspective? There may be lots of different perspectives you can look at it that helps you move on and cope with your problems. But you just need to find the right one for you, or at least any different way to look at it. And a therapist needs to be able to help and explore what's best for you. I am a Christian counselor, and I think that if you're a Christian and that's important to you, then that brings a whole element along with all the other psychotherapy skills and tips and techniques and tricks. The Bible is the best psychotherapy book there is. It's the best textbook there is. God made us. Psychology is a study of human. God made us humans. So it's the best textbook. We can learn so much from it. It had a whole slew of ways to look at your problems from a biblical perspective that can help you solve your problems, or at least cope with them in its best way possible. But you can't be too judgmental. And some Christian therapists, not necessarily Christian therapists, but a lot of ministers who have training, or people who are against psychotherapy and Christianity mixed together, they come off saying, well, you just need to quit sinning. You just need to let go and let God. And yes, those may be true. But if you just take a hardline perspective right off the bat saying that, you're not going to connect with the person. You're not going to really understand why they're not able to use their faith to be able to help them. People have their suffering over here and their faith over here, and you've got to be able to match those together in a loving, good, but encouraging way. And that's what you need to find. If you're a Christian, you need to find a good Christian counselor that you feel comfortable with good education experience, who can guide you to a more biblical way of looking at things. One small additional thing. I do online counseling, and been doing it for a little bit now and gotten a little more experience at it. And I find it's really pleasant, that it's helpful, and you can really connect to people. You can lay down on your couch or your bed and talk and just snuggle up with your blanket and coffee and your pets and your blankie and just feel really comfortable without having to deal with traffic and fighting all that and getting out in public. It's just cozy and comfortable, and people find they can warm up and they open up even better. And so I hope you can give that a try. I do offer 15-minute therapy sessions for myself, and it might be good to talk with me about that. And if I'm not right for you, that's fine. Maybe we need to help you to find the right therapist, and I'd be glad to help you do that. So connect with me just to help you that. But I'd like you to try that 15-minute therapy just to see if you can connect with me, if we fit right together, and if online counseling feels comfortable with you. With my website, it's just really easy. You click a few buttons, it walks you right through it. Couldn't be any easier. And trust me, I hate when people say it's easy and it's not, but this is really easy to figure out. So please give me a chance and try that out. And if I'm not right, I hope you can find the right person. And I can help you find, as always, peace in your storm, and I'll be praying for you. God bless you. Thank you. Bye-bye.